Okay, so on the surface, we're talking about posture. Simple enough, right? But what if I told you that perfecting a simple physical state could unlock something way more profound? What if it could lead to a really deep, lasting sense of freedom? Well, that's the powerful idea we're going to dig into today. And look, this isn't about achieving some perfect-looking yoga pose for social media. The real goal of the practice we're exploring today, it goes right to the very core of our human experience. It actually offers a promise of a very specific and incredibly powerful kind of freedom. Just let that sink in for a second. An unassailable, unimpeded freedom from suffering. I mean, can you imagine a state of being where the usual chaos of life, all the stuff it throws at you, just can't knock you over? This isn't just some poetic idea. It's presented as the direct result of a specific practice. So the big question is, how do we get there? Well, the actual tool for unlocking this freedom is called Asana. Now, for a lot of us, that word probably brings to mind all sorts of dynamic, flowing yoga poses. But its original meaning is much, much more focused, and it serves a very particular purpose. And this number 3 is a really big deal here. See, asana is the third of the 8 traditional limbs, or rungs, of yoga. And its placement is absolutely crucial. It's not the final destination, not by a long shot, but it's the foundational step that makes the whole rest of the journey possible. You can think of it as the physical groundwork for a much deeper mental and spiritual practice. And here's the definition, which is so beautifully simple. Asana comes from the root word as, which just means to sit. That's it. Its primary purpose is to create a stable, solid sitting posture for the rungs of yoga that come later, the ones that deal directly with mastering the mind. So the crucial takeaway here is we're not talking about a workout. We're talking about creating the perfect container for deep meditation. Okay, so if asana is basically a meditative posture, what makes one perfect? It's not about how it looks. It turns out it all boils down to 2 essential and maybe deceptively simple qualities. These are the 2 pillars, steady and comfortable. The posture has to be stable, solid, and unwavering. But, and this is just as important, it also has to be pleasant and at ease. So why both? Well, think about it. A posture that isn't steady creates physical distraction, right? You're fidgeting, you're wobbling, and one that isn't comfortable just creates pain. You absolutely need both that stability and that ease to allow your mind to truly settle down. So the question becomes, how do you actually achieve a state that is both perfectly steady and perfectly comfortable? It sounds simple, but, anyone who's tried to sit still for more than a couple of minutes knows it's a real challenge. The source material gives us a very specific and, I gotta say, pretty counterintuitive method. The method has 2 parts. First, and this is the part that might mess with your head a little, a loosening of tension or effort, right? The path to stability isn't through more trying or more tensing, it's through letting go. The second part is mental, allowing your attention to merge with the infinite. You can think of it as expanding your awareness beyond the tight confines of your own body, connecting your focus to the vast space around you. It's this incredible combination of physical release and mental expansion. And this right here brings us back to that amazing promise we started with. When the posture is perfected through this method of letting go, a really profound shift happens. The source says we gain freedom from what it calls the pairs of opposites. Just think about it for a second. So much of our lives are spent swinging back and forth between extremes, hot and cold, good and bad, even pain and pleasure. We're constantly chasing one and running away from the other, and that endless cycle is a huge source of our suffering. By perfecting this posture, you find an unshakable center. You can stay steady while all these opposites come and go, without getting thrown off balance by them. And so, here we are, full circle. By mastering something as fundamental as how we sit, not by trying harder, but by letting go of effort and expanding our awareness, the result is that unassailable, unimpeded state of being. It's freedom from the constant push and pull of the world, a freedom that comes from within, built on a foundation of pure stillness. So here's a final thought I want to leave you with. This whole principle, it extends so far beyond a meditation cushion. I mean, our world is constantly screaming at us to try harder, to push more, to exert more effort. But this ancient wisdom offers a radically different path. So I'll just ask you, where else in your life, in your work, in your relationships, in your biggest challenges, could loosening your grip, could letting go of effort actually be the key that unlocks true stability and real freedom?